Chris, we've got a question from a YouTuber. Randall says, this is the first year I'm in a position to give generously. Woohoo! What do I need to consider when it comes to giving to an organization? I've heard about a maximum for a gift tax. Does that apply to all giving?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, Randall, congratulations on putting yourself in a position to be able to be a blessing. Because giving is a two-way blessing. It blesses the place that you're giving to, the cause you're supporting, but it also gives you a blessing. And so it is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most fun you can have with money.
Yeah, it is. And you're going to, we always teach there's three things to do with money. You need to enjoy it, meaning lifestyle. Most people don't struggle with that one. You need to give it. And you need to save and invest it so that you can do more of the giving and the enjoying.
That's right.
But you will find the further you get in your financial journey, the further down into your everyday millionaire journey that you get, that the more joy, that you do get more joy from properly done giving. Now, improperly done giving would be giving to something that's distant and you have no emotional connection to. You don't get the giver's high. But if you got a single mom sitting next to you in church and you reach over and pay her rent for half a year because she lost her job for COVID, that's a giving that connects, blesses her, blesses you, that kind of a thing. Now, the gift tax only applies if you're not giving to a nonprofit. Now, a nonprofit would be your church, a ministry, something in the area that's a 501c3. Okay? And so if it's not if it's a 501c3, there's no limit on how much you can give. Now, there's a limit on how much you can take as a tax deduction depending on your income, and your accountant can help you with that formula. But the 501c3 is 100% deductible. If you're giving to an individual, like you're just going to give your brother some money or something like that, then you do have a $15,000 gift tax limitation this year. And you want to be really careful with going over that. There's some techniques you can use to go over that if you want to give to individuals. But if you go over that and don't use some kind of a technique, everything over that's going to be taxed upward of 50%. So the gift tax is horrendous. Do not give away $100,000 and just act like to your mother-in-law and just act like that's okay. You're going to wish you had never met your mother-in-law when the tax bill comes. So you got to do that. So here's one technique. If you're married and you're going to give some money to your kids who are married, your son and daughter-in-law, okay? Then you can give him 15 and her 15. Your wife can give him 15 and her 15. Now we got four $15,000 checks or $60,000 transferred. But I write four separate checks and make sure you've got a real clean paper trail. That would all qualify. But if you're going to go over 60 in that scenario, you're going to have to figure out some other techniques, and you would check out what's called the Unified Estate Tax Credit, where you can get some advice from your tax accountant and get this going. But the bottom line is, if you're giving to a ministry, you just don't have to worry about it. And you're through a ministry or something like that. There's a lot of ways to do this, and congratulations on joining the big boy club, the big girl club, because when you start giving, that's when you're officially an adult.
Hey, Dave, I've never heard you use the term the giving high. But there is something about that. I tell you, when you step into a situation anonymously or regardless, it does do something to your spirit. It really does. It increases everything. You're just excited.
Well, I'm getting old, and I've got a lot of famous friends now, and one of them is named Santa Claus. And there's a reason Santa Claus is jolly.
Yeah.
He gets to give to kids all the time.
Yeah.
And he's always laughing. He's always grinning. And you never see people that are generous people with a scowl. That's not a generous person. They don't give money. Think about if you think of the face of a miser, Scrooge. Yeah. You think of a scowl. Yeah. But when you think of somebody giving, you immediately see this great big smile with all those teeth sticking out. And because that's a generous person, you can see it on their countenance. You can see it on their face. You can see it in the way they walk. When you start to give, I'm so excited for you, Randall, because you're going to discover a whole new segment of life when you become outrageously and crazy generous. Because when you start to do this, it affects your personality. And here's the thing. Generous people are highly attractive. These are attractive individuals. You're going to find out you get promotions at work. You're going to find out that people want to hire you for projects. You're going to be asked to join the club that you never thought, because all of a sudden you're just a likable dude. You know, and it's not because they want your money.
No, it's something about you internally.
Because generosity is not an act; it's a character quality.
Yep.
Integrity is not an act; it's a character quality. And what you're doing here is you're developing this character quality with the act of physical, literal, monetary generosity.
It really is. And I want to remind everybody, giving is not just about money. You've got an opportunity to be able to give with your time as well as your talent. And so that giving aspect is money, time, talent. Look for opportunities or causes that you believe in and engage with them. It is amazing what happens. And I think that's one of the ways we can heal this nation, is to get our mindset shifted on being able to give back and engage with people.
Yeah, there's something that happens in the human spirit when you do this. So, you know, if you're going to do over $15,000, you need to investigate the tax issues. And if you're going to be giving to a ministry or a nonprofit, if you're giving the Red Cross, that's a nonprofit for hurricane relief. If you're giving to the homeless shelter, it's usually going to be a nonprofit in your city. Okay, or if you're giving to a ministry that's an extension of your church, and you're giving to a missionary family through the church, that kind of a thing, or giving to a missionary project where a house is being built in a developing country or something for a family, or they're building a schoolhouse. You're directing it through there. That's all 100% deductible. You don't have to worry about it. I
remember you talking years ago when I first started, you said, you get all kinds of people coming at you, all kinds of charities and things of that nature. But you said you and Sharon will sit down and talk about what causes you're going to support. And you make a list of those. And you lavishly support that list. And I really like that, because you're being as intentional with your giving as you are with your budgeting.
Yeah, and then when someone's mad because I say no, that's okay.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because it's not your money. Yeah. You don't get to decide. You don't have a vote. Today we don't do it with Sharon and I. Today we do it through the Ramsey Family Foundation that my daughter runs.
Right.
And so actually I just got an email a few minutes ago. She's setting up the annual meeting where we will go through and establish the list this year. And it's not a thing where you're from the outside you can do a grant entry to the Ramsey Family Foundation. It's just our methodology of pooling the cash, and then 100% of the ministries and things that we choose are something that we somehow, one of us, Ramsey kids, Ramsey in-law kids, me, Sharon, are connected to. And sometimes it's something we've met this year,
right? But
sometimes it's one we've supported for 25 years. And we just have continued to do that. So, again, it's a small list, but then that way we're able to keep the gifts where they're meaningful.
Yeah.
In other words, we're not doing 500 gifts of $500. That would drive you bananas at tax time. Plus you get everybody coming at you then.
Yeah.
And, you're like, because once you do that once, it's like that guy's over there, that guy's over there, that guy's over there, that guy's over there. And all of a sudden you're on six charity boards, and you're on the board just because they want your money and all that kind of stuff. So you get off into the dark side of this thing really quickly if you're not careful. So keep it to where it's manageable, where you enjoy it. And go ahead and vet the organization. If you're going to give them what you call a lot of money, then spend a lot of time on it. Go, hey, this place, like I'll give you an example. If they borrow money, well, we can't give to them in our case, because that would be a guideline if you're a Ramsey. Duh. We don't borrow money, so why am I going to give money to them so they can give money to the bank? That would be dumb.
Right.
Be inconsistent with who I am as a person, right? Or our family as people. So that would be an example at our house. Maybe you got something at your house that you say, if they do X or do Y, we're not going to do that. So you need to investigate, make sure they're running the thing well, make sure it's managed well, make sure the operating principles are right. So, hey, Roland, Randall, proud of you, man. You're entering a whole nother phase, whole nother gear, baby. Go, man.
Congratulations, brother.
Go. You're going to have fun. Generosity is the best part of the whole money picture. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.